What is up, Ninja here with Tony Farmer, and today we are going to take a look at some candidates for quarterback prop betting markets in 2025. Talk about who is poised to have a big season, who we should be betting in passing yards, touchdown passes, and more. Tony, are you ready?
Ready to roll.
Well, I want to start here with Caleb Williams. I mean, he's going into year two. He's got the new head coach, and everybody is excited to see how that pans out. He's around plus 3,700 in MVP markets. He's 12th in season passing yardage markets. There's a ton of offensive weapons there. But what are your thoughts on Caleb Williams in 2025, especially from a betting perspective?
I'm pretty bullish on Caleb Williams this season. I mean, first of all, he's going from Matt Eberflus and Shane Waldron calling plays, and Eberflus being the head coach, to Ben Johnson, head coach and calling plays. That's like one of the worst situations you can be in to one of the best. So that alone should intrigue you a little bit about Caleb Williams this season. You mentioned the weapons. DJ Moore, Odunze, Komet. And then, they draft Colston Loveland with the number 10 overall pick. They draft a wide receiver with the number 39 overall pick, Luther Burden. So he's loaded. And then they've even got depth at the wide receiver position with Zacchaeus, who had 45 catches last year. The offensive line is big time improved. PFF has them as the fourth best offensive line coming into the season. I think that's a little generous, but they probably are still a top 10, top 12 unit. And that line has depth as well. The excuses are gone for Caleb Williams. And one stat real quick that I think a lot of people don't know about Caleb. He only threw one interception in his last 11 games last year. And that one interception was a Hail Mary in week 17. So I think that to me is a sign that he's improving. And now that he's got the weapons and a good play caller, I like Caleb's chances this year.
Before we get into some of those season long props, any QBs that you think may regress in 2025 or ones we should avoid in prop markets?
Tua, I would say for sure, just with that questionable offensive line in Miami and his concussion history, that's a potential for, an under, actually. I'd say instead of avoiding it, look at the under on his props. Matthew Stafford, injury concerns for sure. I hear a lot of people saying, yeah, he had those back injury concerns in Detroit too, and he played through those, but he's a lot older now. So I am very much concerned about Stafford and his back. And then the last one will be Jared Goff, just with a new offensive coordinator, going from one of the best, one of the most creative minds in the NFL. Anything from that is a downgrade. So I've got concerns with him having a worse offensive line and worse play caller this year.
Looking at DraftKings here, and this is sort of the first week of August. We're recording this, but Joe Burrow to lead the league in passing yards, plus 500. Dak up next, plus 850. Then he got Mahomes at 9-1. The aforementioned Jared Goff, 12-1. Baker, 12-1. Brock Purdy, 13-1. Anybody that you're eyeballing, or have you bet in passing yardage leaders for 2025?
I haven't bet it, but Joe Burrow is intriguing. Like usually in these markets, I like to find someone a little further down the board, like 5 or 6 spots down the board, or maybe a long shot. But Burrow at 5-1, because that Bengals defense is so bad, that's going to give him an opportunity to throw for more yards this season. So give me Burrow at 5-1.
Over to passing touchdowns at DraftKings. Again, it's Joe Burrow plus 550, and then Baker at plus 950. Lamar Jackson 10-1, Jared Goff 10-1, Mahomes 12-1, Josh Allen 14-1. Anybody you like in this betting market to lead the league in touchdown passes?
It's Burrow for me again, for all the same reasons, and I'll give you one additional reason for this market, right? Guys like Mahomes, Lamar, and Josh Allen that he's competing with to be at the top of the passing touchdowns board, they're going to have a few more rushing touchdowns, right? So I think they're going to cannibalize themselves a tiny bit, and Burrow isn't as much of a threat for rushing touchdowns, and I think that's going to help him out a little bit in this market.
Just a reminder, if you are looking for a new sports book to sign up for or an additional one to add to your roster, you can visit oddshark.com/NFL/sites, and you can get the lowdown on all of our partner books over at Oddshark. Even if you have one, add more to your list for the NFL season. You have to give yourself the opportunity to shop around, find the best odds, the best price. Again, that's oddshark.com/NFL/sites. And again, looking at DraftKings here, regular season leaders for passing interceptions, and rookie Cam Ward there leading the board at plus 900. Sam Darnold 10-1, Matty Stafford 10-1, JJ McCarthy 10-1. He's going to have an interesting season. Then Baker 10-1 as well. Sort of a logjam there around the top. Any candidates for you in this betting market, Tony?
Yeah, it's an interesting betting market, right? Because you're not necessarily looking for the most inaccurate quarterback, right? You need to find a quarterback who has a little bit of a leash that when they start throwing these interceptions, the coach is going to keep them in the game. So, like, whoever ends up starting at quarterback for the Browns, I wouldn't love them in this market because if they have three interceptions their first game and three interceptions their second game, they're probably going to end up getting yanked. But a guy like Drake May, I think if he's throwing interceptions, they're just going to chalk it up to, you know what, this is part of the development process. He's got a really bad wide receiver core ranked 31st by Pro Football Focus. Like, let's give Drake May some slack. Let's let him work through this. And if you look at his game log, if you pull that up on the screen, look at his game log, look at that interception column. There's only 3 games that he didn't throw an interception this season, and they were games where he had like 4 attempts or 5 attempts. He didn't play the whole game. Every single game that he played a full game last year, he threw at least 1 interception. So I think May is a guy that could definitely lead the league in interceptions this year.